Never was anything great achieved without danger. Try not to become a man of success. Rather become a man of value. Success. Mental toughness is often the differentiating factor between those who succeed and those who fail. Mental toughness is the ability to persevere through adversity, maintain focus in the face of distractions, and remain resilient despite setbacks. It is the ability to bounce back from failure, stay calm under pressure, and continue to push forward towards one's goals. While some people may seem to possess this quality naturally, the truth is that mental toughness can be cultivated and developed through deliberate practice and discipline. One way to do this is by studying the teachings of Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy that emphasizes the importance of cultivating self-control, rationality, and resilience in the face of adversity. Stoics believe that the key to happiness and inner peace lies in developing a calm and rational mindset that is able to withstand any challenge or hardship. We will explore 7 Stoic lessons that can help you build mental toughness and become unstoppable. Embrace adversity. 1. Embrace adversity. One of the fundamental principles of Stoicism is the idea that adversity is an opportunity for growth. Stoics believe that challenges and hardships are not to be avoided but rather embraced as opportunities to develop one's character and fortitude. This means reframing your perspective on setbacks and difficulties, seeing them not as obstacles to be overcome but as opportunities for growth and learning. Adversity is an inevitable part of life, and Stoics believe that it is essential to embrace it as a means of growth and learning. By facing adversity head on, you can develop the resilience and fortitude necessary to overcome challenges and obstacles. Stoics view setbacks and difficulties as opportunities for self-improvement and believe that they can ultimately lead to greater wisdom and inner peace. Focus on what you can control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have the power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. In today's fast-paced society, we often get overwhelmed by external circumstances beyond our control. However, Stoicism reminds us to shift our focus to what lies within our sphere of influence, our thoughts, attitudes, and actions. By directing our energy towards these controllable factors, we reclaim a sense of power and maintain our inner peace amidst chaos. One effective way to focus on what you can control is by setting clear goals and establishing priorities. Identify the aspects of your life that you can influence and work towards them intentionally. By setting achievable goals and determining your priorities, you can direct your energy and efforts towards those areas, thereby minimizing distractions and worries about things outside your control. Embrace the present moment. Epictetus wisely said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." It emphasizes the importance of aligning our inner aspirations with deliberate and purposeful action. By taking a moment to envision the kind of person we aspire to be and clearly defining our goals, we set the foundation for success. On the same topic, Epictetus also said, "It's time to stop being vague. If you wish to be an extraordinary person, if you wish to be wise, then you should explicitly identify the kind of person you aspire to become. Mere intentions alone are not enough, we must follow them with decisive action." Epictetus reminds us that achieving our desired outcomes requires a proactive approach, putting in the necessary effort and taking the required steps towards our Aspirations. By coupling clear self-reflection and intention with consistent and determined action, we can bridge the gap between our aspirations and reality, ultimately realizing our fullest potential and living a life of purpose and fulfillment. Distinguish between real challenges and the illusions we create. Seneca reflected, "We suffer more from imagination than from reality." This insightful quote carries profound lessons that remain relevant across time. It serves as a powerful reminder of the impact our thoughts and perceptions can have on our well-being. Often our minds are consumed by fears, anxieties and worries that are not rooted in actual circumstances but are products of our imagination. Pretend to dwell on hypothetical future scenarios, creating unnecessary suffering and distress. By recognizing the influence of our imagination, we can learn to cultivate a balanced perspective, distinguishing between real challenges and the illusions we create. Through this awareness, we can navigate life's difficulties with greater resilience and find solace in the present moment, minimizing the unnecessary suffering we impose upon ourselves. Practice self-discipline. Zeno of Citium emphasized, and conquers the world by conquering himself. In a society that bombards us with distractions and instant gratification, Stoicism reminds us of the importance of self-discipline. By mastering our desires and impulses, we gain control over our lives and become less susceptible to external influences. Developing our self-discipline allows us to make conscious choices aligned with our long-term goals and values, even in the face of adversity. Cultivate a positive and optimistic mindset. Marcus Aurelius asserted, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." It highlights the significance of our inner dialogue and the power of our thoughts in shaping our overall well-being. By acknowledging that our happiness is intricately tied to the quality of our thoughts, we are empowered to cultivate a positive and optimistic mindset. It reminds us that our interpretation of events, our attitudes and our perspectives play a vital role in determining our level of contentment. We have the ability to choose our thoughts consciously, reframing challenges as opportunities for growth and cultivating gratitude for the present moment. Through self-awareness and mindful thinking, we can elevate our happiness by fostering a mental landscape that nurtures joy, resilience, and inner peace. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. Always acknowledge fault frankly. This will throw those in authority off guard and give you an opportunity to make a choice. Violand. They're not making it anymore. The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. I think there is only one quality worse than hardness of heart, and that is softness of head. A man can never have too much red wine, too many books, or too much ammunition. Blessed is he that expects nothing, for he shall never be disappointed. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. The reason so many people never get anywhere in life is because when opportunity knocks, they are out in the backyard looking for four-leaf clovers. When you are asked if you can do a job, tell them, "Certainly I can." Then get busy and find out how to do it. Rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debt. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. Our labor preserves us from 3 great evils: weariness, vice, and want. Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that's the stuff life is made of. It is enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Think how difficult it is to change yourself, and you will understand how insignificant your opportunities are to change others. Do something every day that you don't want to do. This is the golden rule for acquiring the habit of doing your duty without pain. The only time you really live fully is from 30 to 60. The younger slaves to dreams, the old servants of regrets. Only the middle-aged to have all their 5 senses in the keeping of their wits. Lengthen thy life, lessen thy meals. You tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Whenever there is a hard job to be done, I assign it to a lazy man. He is sure to find an easy way of doing it. The happiest of all lives is a busy solitude. If you pick up a starving dog and make him prosperous, you will not bite you. This is the principal difference between a dog and a man. Will do many things to get himself loved. He will do all things to get himself envied. Courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees all others. Never argue with stupid people. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Tricks and treachery of the practice of fools. They don't have brains enough to be honest. He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals. The truth must be served like a coat, and not thrown in the face like a wet towel. Hide not your talents. They for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade? Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great make you feel that you too can become great. When you're finished changing, you're finished. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. Right injury is in dust, benefits in marble. Associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. If a man empties his purse into his head, no one can take it from him. I would rather obey a fine lion much stronger than myself, than 200 rats of my own species. Let us live so that when we come to die, even the undertaker will be sorry. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Actions are the seeds of fate. Deeds grow into destiny. One ought never to turn one's back on a threatened danger and try to run away from it. If you do that, you will double the danger. But if you meet it promptly and without flinching, you will reduce the danger by half. Never throughout history has a man who lived a life of ease left a name worth remembering. Big jobs usually go to the men who prove their ability to outgrow small ones. The greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. Remember not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. He that is good at making excuses is seldom good at anything else. Circumstances make man, not man's circumstances. What we have done for ourselves alone dies with us. What we have done for others in the world remains and is immortal. Better a broken promise than none at all. The most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. Grief can take care of itself. But to get the full value of a joy, you must have somebody to divide it with. It is a wise child that knows its own father, and an unusual one that unreservedly approves of him. If you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. The man who was a pessimist before 48 knows too much. If he is an optimist after it, he knows too little. Whatever a man's age, he can reduce it by several years by putting a bright colored flower in his buttonhole. Life's tragedy is that we get old too soon, and wise too late. When in doubt, tell the truth. There are 869 different forms of lying, but only one of them has been squarely forbidden. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Who have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something sometime in your life. It is the little conveniences that make the real comfort of life. To be busy is man's only happiness. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Only two things we'll regret on deathbed: that we are a little loved and little traveled. I'm an old man and I have known a great many troubles, but most of them never happened. Don't think money does everything, or you are going to end up doing everything for money. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference when you're good to others, you're best to yourself. What more valuable than gold? Diamonds. Then diamonds. Virtue. Courage is resistance to fear. Mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Search others for their virtues, thyself for thy vices. It is better to take many injuries than to give one. In this world nothing could be said to be certain, except death and taxes. There are three things extremely hard: steal a diamond, and to know oneself. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. It is the working man who is the happy man. It is the idle man who is the miserable man. We lavish gifts upon children, but the most precious gift, our personal association, which means so much to them, we give grudgingly. They who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. He that can have patience can have what he will. Money has never made man happy, nor will it. There is nothing in its nature to produce happiness. The more of it one has, the more one wants. Don't hit it at all if it is honorably possible to avoid hitting, but never hit soft. Some people die at 25 and aren't buried until 75. At 20 years of age the will reigns, at 30 the wit, and at 40 the judgment. There is no man living that can do more than he thinks he can. It is easier to prevent bad habits than to break them, and a shadow attend only while the sun shines. I saw a few die of hunger, of eating 100,000. He that speaks much is much mistaken. Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears. The most important decision you make is to be in a good mood. The art of medicine consists of amusing the patient while nature cures the disease. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. The whole secret of a successful life is to find out what is one's destiny to do, and then do it. If passion drives you, let reason hold the reins. Continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking our potential. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing, the next best thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is nothing. Do what you can with what you have, where you are. Reframe your perception of adversity. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Here's a rule to remember in the future. When anything tempts you to feel bitter, not this is misfortune, but to bear this worthily is good fortune." It teaches us the transformative power of reframing our perception of adversity. Instead of succumbing to bitterness and resentment when faced with challenges, Aurelius encourages us to see them as opportunities for personal growth and character development. By shifting our focus from the perceived misfortune to the potential for personal improvement, we can cultivate a mindset that embraces challenges as valuable experiences. This perspective empowers us to approach difficulties with resilience, grace, and gratitude, ultimately turning what may initially seem unfortunate into a catalyst for personal growth and self-transformation. Practice gratitude and contentment. Epictetus reminds us he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. In a society driven by consumerism and the pursuit of more, Stoicism reminds us to find contentment in what we already have. Practicing gratitude allows us to shift our focus from scarcity to abundance, appreciating the present moment and the blessings that surround us. By cultivating contentment, we can find joy and fulfillment regardless of our external circumstances. Be humble in learning. Peter stated, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." This quote imparts a profound lesson about the importance of humility and open-mindedness in the pursuit of knowledge and personal growth. By acknowledging that the assumption of already knowing something can hinder our ability to learn, Epictetus invites us to embrace a mindset of intellectual curiosity and receptivity. When we approach new information or experiences with a preconceived notion of our own knowledge, we close ourselves off from the potential insights and wisdom they may offer. True learning requires a humble acknowledgement of our own limitations and a willingness to challenge our existing beliefs and assumptions. By adopting an attitude of humility and openness, we create space for continuous learning, expansion, and the discovery of new perspectives. Build resilience through adversity. Seneca wisely said, "Difficulty strengthens the mind as labor does the body, just as physical labor builds strength and endurance in our bodies. Facing difficulties and hardships can strengthen our mental resilience. Adversity provides an opportunity for growth, pushing us beyond our comfort zones and forcing us to tap into our inner resources, rather than avoiding or resenting difficult situations. Seneca encourages us to embrace them as opportunities for personal development and self-improvement. By approaching challenges with a mindset of growth and viewing them as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, we can cultivate a stronger and more resilient mind. Difficulties become the catalyst for building mental fortitude, expanding our capacities, and ultimately enabling us to navigate life's obstacles with greater confidence and wisdom. Live in accordance with nature. Seneca wrote, "The end may be defined as life in accordance with nature, or in other words in accordance with our own human nature as well as that of the universe. We are often disconnected from the natural world and our own inner selves. Stoicism reminds us to align our lives with the rhythms of nature and find moments of solitude and self-reflection. By reconnecting with ourselves and the world around us, we can restore balance, find clarity, and live in harmony with our true nature. These timeless teachings from Stoic philosophers continue to offer guidance in our fast-paced modern society. By integrating these principles into our lives, we can cultivate resilience in peace and wisdom, ultimately finding strength in the face of adversity. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Let us know in the comments which Stoic lesson resonated with you the most. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay strong. The man without self-reliance and an iron will is the plaything of chance, the puppet of his environment, the slave of circumstances. Regard every suggestion that your life may be a failure, that you are not made like those who succeed, and that success is not for you as a traitor, and expel it from your mind as you would a thief from your house. The athlete trains for his race, and the mind must be put into training if one will win life's race. There are three kinds of people in the world: the wills, the won'ts and the can'ts. The first accomplish everything, the second oppose everything, the third fail in everything. The greatest thing a man can do in this world is to make the most possible out of the stuff that has been given to him. This is success, and there is no other. The world takes us at our own valuation. It believes in a man who believes in himself, but it has little use for the timid man, the one who is never certain of himself, who cannot rely on his own judgment, who craves advice from others, and is afraid to go ahead on his own account. Many a man would have been a success had he connected his fragmentary efforts. Spasmodic, disconnected attempts without concentration, uncontrolled by any fixed idea, will never bring success. It is continuity of purpose alone that achieves results. It is, says Professor Matthews, only by continued strenuous efforts repeated again and again, day after day, week after week and month after month, that the ability can be acquired to fasten the mind to one subject, however abstract or naughty, to the exclusion of everything else. Money, influence and position are nothing compared with brain's principles, energy and perseverances. Happiness is not a matter of intensity, but of balance, order, rhythm and harmony. Believe with all your heart that you will do what you are made to do. Most of our obstacles would melt away if, instead of cowering before them, we should make up our minds to walk boldly through them. Don't wait for extraordinary opportunities. Seize common occasions and make them great. Weak men wait for opportunities. Strong men make them. Opportunity becomes invisible to those who are doing nothing or looking somewhere else for it. Success is not measured by what you accomplish, but by the opposition you have encountered and the courage with which you have maintained the struggle against overwhelming odds. When we are sure that we are on the right road, there is no need to plan our journey too far ahead. No need to burden ourselves with doubts and fears as to the obstacles that may bar our progress. We cannot take more than one step at a time. All men who have achieved great things have been great dreamers. The first part of success is get to witiveness. The second part of success is stick to witiveness. Don't think you have no chance in life. Because you have no capital to begin with. Most of the rich men of today began poor. The chances are you would be ruined if you had capital. If you do not feel yourself growing in your work and your life broadening and deepening, if your task is not a perpetual tonic to you, you have not found your place. Genius, that's power which dazzles more. To lies is but perseverance in disguise. The universe is one great kindergarten. Everything that exists has brought with it its own peculiar lesson. The mountain teaches stability and grandeur. The ocean immensity and change. Forests, lakes and rivers. Clouds and winds, stars and flowers. Stupendous glaciers and crystal snowflakes. Every form of animate or inanimate existence leaves its impress upon our soul. There is no medicine like hope, no incentive so great, and no tonic so powerful as expectation of something tomorrow. The golden opportunity you are seeking is in yourself. It is not in your environment, it is not in luck or chance or the help of others. It is in yourself alone. What keeps so many people back is simply unwillingness to pay the price, to make the exertion, the effort, to sacrifice their ease and comfort. Obstacles are like wild animals, they are cowards, but they bluff you if they can. If they see you are afraid of them, they are liable to spring upon you. But if you look them squarely in the eye, they will slink out of sight. A woman who is self-reliant, positive, optimistic, and undertakes her work with the assurance of success magnetizes her condition. She draws to herself the creative powers of the universe. Learned from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. Opportunities, they are all around us. They're with power lying latent everywhere, waiting for the observant eye to discover it. Wanted a man who will not lose his individuality in a crowd, a man who has the courage of his convictions, who is not afraid to say no though all the world say yes. A good laugh makes us better friends with ourselves and everyone around us. Never allow yourself to dwell on your weaknesses, your failures, your unhappy condition. Hold firmly the ideal of your efficiency, your competency, your divinity, the conviction that you were made for health, success and happiness, and struggle vigorously to attain that which will help you to realize this condition. Just make up your mind at the very outset that your work is going to stand for quality, that you are going to stamp a superior quality upon everything that goes out of your hands, that whatever you do shall bear the hallmark of excellence. You will find the whole world will change to you when you change your attitude toward it. Our destiny changes with our thought. We shall become what we wish to become, do what we wish to do when our habitual thought corresponds with our desires. Your outlook upon life, your estimate of yourself, your estimate of your value are largely colored by your environment. Your whole career will be modified, shaped, molded by your surroundings, by the character of the people whom you come in contact every day. Believe with all your heart that you will do what you are made to do. It is like the seed putting the soil, the more one sows the greater the harvest. Just because you are struggling on a farm or in a factory doing something against which your whole nature rebels, because there is no one to help you support your aged parents or an invalid brother or sister, do not conclude that your vision must perish. Keep pushing on as best you can and affirming your divine power to attain your desire. Hundreds and thousands of poor boys and girls with poorer opportunities than yours have done immortal deeds because they had faith in their ideal and in their power to attain it. The tonic of success is a marvelous producer as well as stimulants. By the law of mental magnetism, one success attracts another. And after we begin to win, it is comparatively easy to keep on winning. Nothing is more foolish, nothing more wicked than to drag the skeletons of the past, the hideous images, the foolish deeds, the unfortunate experiences of yesterday into today's work to mar and spoil it. There are plenty of people who have been failures up to the present moment who could do wonders in the future if they only could forget the past. If they only had the ability to cut it off, close the door on it forever and start anew. Every discovery in science and art is due to the trained power of seeing things. Keep your eyes open, your ears open. Trace difficulties. No man can be ideally successful until he has found his place like a locomotive. He is strong on the track but weak everywhere else. Foreign make our backs ache carrying useless, foolish burdens. We carry luggage and rubbish that are of no earthly use but which sap our strength and keep us jaded and tired to no purpose. If we could only learn to hold on to the things worthwhile and drop the rubbish, let go the useless, the foolish, the silly, the hamperers, the things that hinder, we should not only make progress but we should keep happy and harmonious. Love like the sun never sees the dark side of anything. Always carry yourself as though you are marching to victory. Make this impression upon everyone who sees you. Let victory stand out of your very face, let it speak out of your eyes. With such determination, with such vigorous resolution that people will know that there is no such thing as keeping you down, no such thing as discouraging you, because you are victory organized, because you are in the habit of winning. Give people the suggestion of invincibility. What we do when defeat stares us in the face is the real touchstone of character. But the very fact that success has time and again proved the means of awakening people to the knowledge of greater ability than they ever before dreamed they possessed, ought to hearten and encourage us to keep on no matter how often we fail. If we brace ourselves and continue to push forward, we will ultimately win out. Wisdom will not open her doors to those who are not willing to pay the price in self-sacrifice, in hard work. Her jewels are too precious to scatter before the idle, the ambitionless. Saturate yourself with the ideals, with the convictions which you long to come true. Keep your mind filled with them, and they must, by the very law of attraction, force out their opposites. For like attracts like. If you hold the love thought in your mind, the hate thought must go. Love and hate cannot live together. Light and darkness cannot live together. Young men try to justify themselves and check inward protests by the perpetual self-suggestion that it is better to keep on for the present in questionable occupations, because the great financial reward will put them in a position to do better later. This is a sort of sedative to the conscience. Keep it quiet until they can afford to listen to it. Personal nobility is greater than any calling or any reward that it can bring. Before water generates steam, it must register 212 degrees of heat. 200 degrees will not do it. 210 will not do it. The water must boil before it will generate enough steam to move an engine, to run a train. Lukewarm water will not run anything. One of the strangest things in life is the false ideas everywhere prevalent regarding the nature of happiness. The general belief seems to be that it is founded on things that can be bought with money. The more money, the more things, and the more things, the more enjoyment, the greater the degree of happiness. But money has never yet been known to buy happiness. No one has ever yet found Happiness by chasing it over the earth. It is not in our food, it is not in our drink, it is not in our clothes or material possessions. It is not in excitement or a constant round of pleasure. Happiness is born of right living, it is the child of rights thinking and right to acting, of helpful service. A selfish life never knows real happiness, greed and envy never touch it. Fears and doubts repel prosperity. Abundance cannot get to a person who holds such a mental attitude. Things that are unlike in the mental realm repel one another. Trying to become prosperous while always talking poverty, thinking poverty, dreading it, predicting that you will always be poor, is like trying to cure disease by always thinking about it, picturing it, visualizing it, believing that you are always going to be sick, that you can never be cured. Nothing can attract prosperity but that which has an affinity for it. The prosperous thought, the prosperous conviction, the prosperity faith, the prosperity ambition. The highest happiness is the feeling of well-being which comes to one who is actively employed in doing what he was made to do, carrying out the great life purpose patterned in his individual bent, to have done no manner wrong, to walk and live unseduced within arm's length of what is not your own, with nothing between your desire and its gratification but the invisible law of rectitude. This is to be a man. Your suspicion attracts suspicion. Jealousy brings more jealousy, hate more hate, just as love brings love to meet it. As friendliness brings more friendliness. As sympathy and goodwill to all draw the same to you from others and increase your popularity and magnetic power. The power of material things to bestow happiness, to bring joy into the life, is tremendously exaggerated. The right mental attitude, the trained mind, will bring to us the best there is in the universe. A habit of learning to appreciate to the utmost every situation in life adds wonderfully to the sum total of one's happiness. But many people are incapable of real happiness because they never learn to appreciate anything except that which appeals to their own comfort, pleasure, or appetite. Focus on what you can control. Another key Stoic principle is the idea of focusing on what you can control. This means accepting that there are certain things in life that are outside of your control, and instead focusing your energy and attention on the things that you can influence. By focusing on what you can control, you can avoid wasting time and energy on things that are beyond your power, and instead focus on making progress in areas where you have agency. Stoics stress the importance of focusing your attention and energy on the things that you can control and accepting the things that you cannot. This means avoiding getting bogged down by worrying about external circumstances or events that are beyond your power, and instead directing your focus and effort towards the things that you can influence. By focusing on what you can control, you can avoid feeling overwhelmed or discouraged by things that are outside of your sphere of influence. 3. Practice self-discipline. Self-discipline is an essential component of mental toughness, and it is a key value in Stoicism. Stoics believe that the key to achieving inner peace and self-mastery lies in cultivating self-discipline and self-control. This means developing the ability to resist temptation, delay gratification, and stick to your commitments even when it is difficult or uncomfortable. Self-discipline is a key component of Stoic philosophy and is essential for building mental toughness. By cultivating the ability to resist temptation, delay gratification, and stay committed to your goals, you can develop the discipline necessary to persevere through challenges and setbacks. Self-discipline also helps to cultivate a sense of inner strength and confidence, which can be invaluable when facing difficult situations. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Peace begins with a smile. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Whatever you are, be a good one. Audrey Hepburn. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. You must expect great things of yourself before you can do them. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation there is sure to be failure. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Fortune sides with him who dares. 80% of success is showing up. If you care about what you do and work hard at it, there isn't anything you can't do if you want to. People rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they are doing. Possessions, outward success, publicity, luxury, to me these have always been contemptible. I believe that a simple and unassuming manner of life is best for everyone, best for both the body and the mind. To be independent of public opinion is the first formal condition of achieving anything great. I want to do it because I want to do it. Women must try to do things as men have tried. When they fail, their failure must be but a challenge to others. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Do what you feel in your heart to be right, for you'll be criticized anyway. It is impossible to escape the impression that people commonly use false standards of measurement, that they seek power, success and wealth for themselves, and admire them in others, and that they underestimate what is of true value in life. Friendship is unnecessary. Like philosophy, like art, it has no survival value. Rather, it is one of those things which give value to survival. I can't give you a surefire formula for success, but I can give you a formula for failure. Try to please everybody all the time. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. No man is free who is not master of himself. It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. So be sure when you step with care and great act, and remember that life's a great balancing act. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what you know, and you are the one who will decide where to go. It's never too late to be what you might have been. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Truman Capote. Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor. Have no fear of perfection, you'll never reach it. Worst part of success is trying to find someone who is happy for you. Don't spend time beating on a wall, hoping to transform it into a door. I'm a success today because I had a friend who believed in me, and I didn't have the heart to let him down. You've gotta dance like there's nobody watching. Love like you'll never be hurt. Sing like there's nobody listening, and live like is heaven on earth. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Without music, life would be a mistake. When you show yourself to the world and display your talents, you naturally stir all kinds of resentment, envy, and other manifestations of insecurity. You cannot spend your life worrying about the petty feelings of others. Supreme excellence consists of breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. We are all failures, at least the best of us are. Judge your success by what you had to give up in order to get it. The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack in will. I've come to believe that each of us has a personal calling that's as unique as a fingerprint, and that the best way to succeed is to discover what you love, and then find a way to offer it to others in the form of a service. Working hard and also allowing the energy of the universe to lead you. Winners are not afraid of losing, but losers are. Failure is part of the process of success. People who avoid failure also avoid success. If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way. I have learned that success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life, as by the obstacles which he has overcome while trying to succeed. The good news is that the moment you decide that what you know is more important than what you have been taught to believe, you will have shifted gears in your quest for abundance. Success comes from within, not from without. Seneca. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. It had long since come to my attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things. A thinker sees his own actions as experiments and questions as attempts to find out something. Success and failure are for him answers above all. A man is a success if he gets up in the morning and gets to bed at night, and in between he does what he wants to do. Success is most often achieved by those who don't know that failure is inevitable. Only those who dare to fail greatly can never achieve greatly. Kites rise highest against the wind, not with it. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any one thing. Epictetus. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. The three great essentials to achieve anything worthwhile are: first, hard work; second, stick to evenness; third, common sense. Rich people have small TVs and big libraries, and poor people have small libraries and big TVs. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. You're not obligated to win, you're obligated to keep trying to the best you can every day. To each there comes in their lifetime a special moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered the chance to do a Very special thing. Unique to them and fitted to their talents. What a tragedy if that moment finds them unprepared or unqualified for that which could have been their finest hour. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. What you're supposed to do when you don't like a thing is change it. If you can't change it, change the way you think about it. Don't complain. It's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting. A superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When I despair, I remember that all through history the way of the truth and love have always won. They have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end they always fall. Think of it. Always. The way to get started is to quit. Walt Disney. Talking and begin doing. Haley Williams. Sometimes it takes a good fall to really know where you stand. Our greatest glory is not in never falling but in rising. Every time we fall, all you need in this life is ignorance and confidence. Then success is sure. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift of God, which is why we call it the present. Is about creating yourself. Theodore Roosevelt. Do what you can with what you have. Where you are. When one door of happiness closes, another opens, but often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one which has been opened for us. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. We accept the love we think we deserve. Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius. And it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. Everything you can imagine is real. To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. Keep your friends for friendship, but work with the skilled and competent. Putting things off is the biggest waste of life. It snatches away each day as it comes and denies us the present. By promising the future, the greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. You are arranging what lies in fortune's control and abandoning what lies in yours. What are you looking at? To what goal are you straining? The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. You develop emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, failures, and disappointments. It is the ability to maintain a sense of calm and composure, even in the face of adversity. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of developing emotional resilience as a key component of mental toughness. This means learning how to manage your emotions, respond to setbacks in a rational and objective way, and avoid getting swept up in negative emotions like anger or despair. Emotional resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks and maintain a sense of calm and composure in the face of adversity. Stoics believe that emotional resilience is essential for building mental toughness, and that it can be developed through deliberate practice. By learning to manage your emotions and respond to setbacks in a rational and objective manner you can cultivate the resilience necessary to overcome challenges and move forward with confidence. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is another important value in Stoicism, and it is a key component of mental toughness. By cultivating gratitude, you can develop a positive and resilient mindset that is able to withstand challenges and setbacks. This means focusing on the things in your life that you are thankful for even in difficult times, and recognizing the value of challenges and hardships as opportunities for growth and learning. Gratitude is a key value in Stoicism and is essential for building mental toughness. By focusing on the things in your life that you are thankful for even in difficult times, you can develop a positive and resilient mindset that is able to withstand challenges and setbacks. Cultivating gratitude can also help to shift your perspective on setbacks and difficulties, seeing them as opportunities for growth and learning, rather than as obstacles to be overcome. Acceptance is another key Stoic principle that can help you develop mental toughness. Stoics believe that acceptance is the key to achieving inner peace and tranquility, and that it is essential for navigating the ups and downs of life with grace and resilience. This means accepting the things that you cannot change and focusing instead on making progress in areas where you have agency. By accepting the things that you cannot change and focusing instead on what you can control, you can avoid feeling overwhelmed or discouraged by external circumstances. Acceptance also helps to cultivate a sense of inner peace and tranquility, which can be invaluable when facing difficult situations. Maintain perspective. Finally, maintaining perspective is a crucial element of mental toughness. Stoics believe that it is important to keep a clear and objective perspective on the world and to avoid getting bogged down in negativity or pessimism. This means cultivating a sense of detachment from the things that happen around you and focusing instead on what is within your control. By maintaining perspective, you can avoid getting swept up in emotional reactions to setbacks and challenges, and instead maintain a clear and objective mindset that allows you to make rational decisions and take effective action. Stoics stress the importance of maintaining a clear and objective perspective on the world and avoiding getting bogged down in negativity or pessimism. By cultivating a sense of detachment from external circumstances, you can maintain a rational and objective mindset that allows you to make effective decisions and take appropriate action. In conclusion, mental toughness is a key component of success in any area of life, and it can be developed through deliberate practice and discipline. By studying the teachings of Stoicism, you can cultivate the values and principles that are essential for building mental toughness, including self-discipline, emotional resilience, gratitude, acceptance, and perspective. By embracing adversity, focusing on what you can control, and maintaining a sense of calm and composure in the face of challenges and setbacks, you can become unstoppable in pursuit of your goals and dreams. So take these Stoic lessons to heart and begin building the mental toughness that will help you achieve success and fulfillment in all areas of your life. Between stimulus and response, there is a space, and that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Viktor Frankl. In today's fast-paced, ever-changing world, anxiety has become an all too familiar companion for many of us. We struggle with constant worry, fear, and uncertainty as we navigate the storms of life. But what if there's a way to ease our anxiety and find inner peace? In this video we'll delve into the ancient wisdom of Stoicism and explore how its teachings can help us find calm amid the chaos. Stoicism is a philosophy that emerged in ancient Greece and Rome, and its principles have stood the test of time, providing guidance and wisdom for nearly 2 millennia. At the core of Stoicism lies the belief that we cannot control external events, but we can control how we react to them. By focusing on what is within our control, we can foster inner peace and resilience in the face of adversity. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues are not only helpful in navigating life's challenges but also essential for living a good and fulfilling life. By adopting a Stoic mindset, we learn to accept the impermanence of life and the inevitability of change. This acceptance frees us from the grip of anxiety and allows us to embrace the present moment with gratitude and serenity. One of the most powerful ways Stoicism can help ease anxiety is by encouraging us to shift our perspective. Instead of getting caught up in the whirlwind of our thoughts and emotions, we can learn to take a step back and observe them objectively. By doing so, we realize that our anxiety is often a result of our perception of events rather than the events themselves. This insight enables us to reframe our thoughts and regain control over our emotional state. Now that we have a basic understanding of Stoicism and its potential for easing anxiety, let's dive into the minds of 3 famous Stoic philosophers: Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. These great thinkers left behind a wealth of wisdom that continues to inspire and guide people even today. Seneca was a Roman statesman, philosopher, and playwright who lived during the first. His works such as Letters from a Stoic and On the Shortness of Life offer profound insights into the human condition and the art of living a meaningful life. Through his writings, Seneca teaches us about the importance of self-mastery, focusing on the present and finding strength in adversity. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, lived in the 1st century AD and became one of the most influential Stoic thinkers. His teachings, found in works like Discourses and the Enchiridion, emphasized the importance of understanding the difference between what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus encourages us to accept life's uncertainties and focus on cultivating our inner virtues. Last but not least, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, is perhaps the most well-known Stoic. His book, Meditations, is a collection of personal reflections that provide a window into the mind of a great ruler struggling with the same human emotions and challenges that we all face. Through his thoughts, Marcus Aurelius teaches us about the importance of self-awareness, resilience, and the interconnectedness of all things. In this video we will explore the top 10 Stoic quotes from these remarkable philosophers that have the power to ease anxiety and help us find peace in the chaos of life. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca. Our first quote from Seneca is a powerful reminder of how our thoughts can magnify our suffering. Anxiety often stems from our minds creating worst-case scenarios and catastrophic outcomes, even though these imagined events rarely come to pass. In essence, our fear and worry are amplified by our imagination, leading to unnecessary suffering. To better understand this concept, let's take a moment to consider how anxiety works. When faced with uncertainty or a perceived threat, our brains enter a state of heightened alertness. This natural response is designed to protect us from danger, but when our minds perceive threats that aren't grounded in reality, we become trapped in a cycle of fear and worry. Seneca's quote teaches us that by recognizing the role our imagination plays in fueling anxiety, we can begin to challenge and reframe our thoughts. Instead of getting swept away by our fears, we can choose to focus on the present moment and the reality of our situation. By doing so, we can gain perspective and realize that our anxiety is often a product of our minds rather than an accurate reflection of reality. To apply this Stoic wisdom in our daily lives, we can practice mindfulness techniques such as meditation or deep breathing exercises to bring our awareness back to the present moment. As we become more aware of our thoughts and the influence they have on our emotions, we can learn to identify and challenge the irrational beliefs that perpetuate our anxiety. In turn, we can regain control over our minds and ease our suffering. Seneca's quote highlights the importance of understanding the role our imagination plays in creating and perpetuating anxiety. By recognizing that we often suffer more in our minds than in reality, we can take steps to challenge our thoughts, cultivate mindfulness, and ultimately find relief from the debilitating grip of anxiety that disturb people. It's their judgments concerning them. Epictetus's words remind us of a fundamental Stoic principle. Our emotional reactions are not solely determined by external events, but rather by our interpretation of them. This idea is particularly relevant to anxiety, as it highlights the role our thoughts and beliefs play in triggering and sustaining our distress. When we experience anxiety, it's often because we perceive a situation as threatening or challenging. However, this perception is not an inherent quality of the situation itself, but rather the result of our judgments and interpretations. By understanding that our emotional reactions are shaped by our thoughts, we can begin to take control of our anxiety and cultivate a sense of inner peace. To put this Stoic wisdom into practice, we can learn to identify and challenge our cognitive distortions, which are irrational thought patterns that contribute to anxiety. For example, we might recognize that we are catastrophizing or imagining the worst possible outcome even when it's unlikely. By acknowledging and disputing these distortions, we can begin to shift our perspective and develop more balanced, rational thoughts. Another practical approach is to embrace a growth mindset, which encourages us to view challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning. By reinterpreting difficult situations in a more positive light, we can reduce the intensity of our emotional reactions and build resilience in the face of adversity. In essence, Epictetus's quote teaches us that our anxiety is not solely the result of external circumstances, but rather the product of our judgments and interpretations. By challenging our irrational thoughts and adopting a growth mindset, we can develop a more balanced perspective, reduce our anxiety, and find a sense of calm in the face of life's uncertainties. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius, in his timeless wisdom, offers a powerful reminder that our ability to control external events is limited, but we possess the power to shape our thoughts and reactions. This understanding is crucial when it comes to managing anxiety, as it underscores the importance of focusing on what is within our control rather than becoming overwhelmed by external circumstances. Anxiety often arises when we attempt to control or predict the uncontrollable, such as other people's actions, the future, or the outcome of events. This futile pursuit leaves us feeling powerless and vulnerable, amplifying our anxiety. However, by recognizing that our true power lies within our minds, we can shift our focus to cultivating resilience, self-awareness, and inner strength. To harness this power and reduce anxiety, we can engage in practices that foster mental clarity and emotional regulation. For example, we might choose to adopt a daily meditation or journaling practice to better understand our thoughts and feelings. By developing a deeper self-awareness, we can identify the triggers of our anxiety and learn to respond more effectively to them. Another way to embody Marcus Aurelius's wisdom is to practice acceptance, a central tenet of Stoicism. By embracing the reality that we cannot control everything, we can let go of our attachment to specific outcomes and cultivate a sense of inner peace. This acceptance allows us to focus on what we can influence, such as our thoughts, behaviors, and emotional reactions, ultimately empowering us to face life's challenges with greater resilience and tranquility. Marcus Aurelius's quote serves as a powerful reminder that while we may not have control over external events, we possess the power to shape our thoughts and reactions. By embracing this insight, we can develop a greater sense of inner strength, cultivate resilience, and effectively manage our anxiety in the face of life's uncertainties. He who is brave is free. Seneca. Seneca's profound statement encapsulates the liberating power of courage in overcoming anxiety. When we face our fears with bravery, we break free from the constraints anxiety imposes on us, opening the door to personal growth and self-discovery. Anxiety often stems from our fear of the unknown, the uncertain, or the uncomfortable. It can lead us to avoid situations that might trigger these feelings, thereby reinforcing our fears and limiting our experiences. However, Seneca teaches us that by embracing our courage and confronting our fears, we can find freedom from the shackles of anxiety and expand the boundaries of our comfort zones. To cultivate this bravery, we can start by acknowledging our fears and anxieties rather than denying or avoiding them. By bringing awareness to our fears, we can develop a better understanding of their roots and begin to face them head on. Next, we can practice facing our fears in a gradual and controlled manner using techniques such as exposure therapy or systematic desensitization. These methods involve gradually confronting and engaging with anxiety-provoking situations, allowing us to build our confidence and resilience over time. Another aspect of bravery involves cultivating self-compassion and patience. It is essential to recognize that overcoming anxiety is a process and setbacks are a natural part of growth. By treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, we can foster the courage needed to persist in the face of fear and uncertainty. Seneca's quote emphasizes the transformative power of courage in breaking free from anxiety. By facing our fears, practicing self-compassion, and embracing the process of growth, we can liberate ourselves from anxiety's grip and experience newfound freedom in our lives. Men are disturbed not by things but by the view which they take of them. Epictetus. Epictetus's quote reiterates the significance of our perspectives and interpretations in shaping our emotional experiences, including anxiety. This idea aligns with the Stoic belief that external events don't inherently cause our emotional reactions. Instead, it is our thoughts and judgments about these events that dictate our responses. Anxiety often arises when we perceive situations as threatening or challenging, even when they might not be so in reality. Our minds can be swayed by negative assumptions, irrational beliefs, or cognitive distortions that distort our perception of the world around us. By recognizing the power of our perspectives in fueling our anxiety, we can begin to adjust our viewpoints and transform our emotional experiences to shift our perspectives and alleviate anxiety. We can practice reframing our thoughts. This technique involves identifying negative or irrational beliefs and replacing them with more balanced, rational alternatives. For instance, if we catch ourselves thinking, "I can't handle this," we can reframe it to, "This is challenging, but I have the resources to cope with it." Additionally, we can practice gratitude and focus on the positive aspects of our lives. This practice helps counteract our natural tendency to fixate on the negative, which can exacerbate anxiety. By fostering an attitude of gratitude, we can develop a more balanced perspective on life, which in turn can alleviate anxiety and promote emotional well-being. Epictetus underscores the pivotal role our perspectives play in shaping our emotional experiences, including anxiety. By embracing the power of reframing our thoughts and cultivating gratitude, we can transform our viewpoints and consequently reduce anxiety and find greater peace in our lives. The universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it. Marcus Aurelius. In this quote, Marcus Aurelius highlights two essential truths: the ever-changing nature of the universe and the profound impact of our thoughts on our lives. Understanding these ideas can provide valuable insights into managing anxiety and fostering a greater sense of inner peace. The first part of the quote, "The universe is change," encourages us to embrace the impermanence of life. Change is an inevitable part of existence, and our resistance to it often fuels anxiety. By accepting that change is a natural and unavoidable force, we can let go of our need for control and certainty, allowing us to adapt more gracefully to the fluctuations of life. To cultivate a greater acceptance of change, we can practice mindfulness and focus on the present moment. This approach allows us to become more aware of the transient nature of our experiences and develop a deeper appreciation for the present. As a result, we become more adaptable and resilient in the face of life's uncertainties, helping to reduce anxiety. The second part of the quote, "Our life is what our thoughts make it," emphasizes the power of our thoughts in shaping our emotional experiences. As we've discussed throughout this video, our thoughts and beliefs play a crucial role in the development and maintenance of anxiety. By recognizing the influence of our thoughts, we can take control of our mental landscape and in turn transform our emotional well-being. To harness the power of our thoughts, we can engage in practices such as cognitive restructuring, meditation, or journaling. These activities help us identify and challenge irrational beliefs or cognitive distortions, promoting healthier thought patterns and reduced anxiety. Marcus Aurelius's quote teaches us the importance of embracing change and recognizing the power of our thoughts in shaping our lives. By cultivating acceptance of impermanence and working to transform our thought patterns, we can effectively manage anxiety and create a more peaceful, fulfilling life. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Seneca's words remind us of the importance of living in the present moment and the role that anxious Thoughts about the future can play in undermining our happiness. Anxiety often arises from our preoccupation with future uncertainties, imagined problems or potential losses, preventing us from fully experiencing and enjoying the present to achieve true happiness. As Seneca suggests, we must learn to let go of our anxious dependence on the future and cultivate a greater appreciation for the present moment. This approach allows us to shift our focus from hypothetical worries to the experiences, relationships, and opportunities that are available to us right now. One way to embrace the present moment is through mindfulness practices such as meditation, deep breathing exercises, or mindful movement. These activities help us develop greater self-awareness, enabling us to recognize and disengage from unhelpful thought patterns such as rumination or worry that can fuel anxiety. Another strategy for enjoying the present is to develop an attitude of gratitude by actively acknowledging and appreciating the positive aspects of our lives. We can counteract our natural tendency to focus on the negative, which often leads to anxiety. This practice helps us cultivate a more balanced, positive mindset, allowing us to experience greater happiness and well-being. Seneca's quote underscores the importance of living in the present moment and releasing our anxious dependence on the future in order to achieve true happiness. By practicing mindfulness and cultivating gratitude, we can break free from anxiety-inducing thought patterns and fully enjoy the richness and beauty of our lives. It is not death or pain that is to be feared, but the fear of pain or death. Epictetus offers a thought-provoking insight into the nature of fear and anxiety. He suggests that it is not the actual experience of pain or death that we should be concerned about, but rather our fear of these experiences. This idea highlights the role that our thoughts and perceptions play in shaping our emotional responses, including anxiety. Anxiety often arises from the anticipation of pain or negative experiences rather than the actual events themselves. Our minds can become trapped in a cycle of worry and fear, imagining worst-case scenarios and amplifying our sense of vulnerability. However, by recognizing that our fear is often more debilitating than the experiences we dread, we can begin to challenge these thoughts and gain a greater sense of control over our anxiety. To break free from the cycle of fear and anxiety, we can engage in practices that foster self-awareness and help us develop a more rational perspective. For instance, we can engage in cognitive restructuring techniques to identify and challenge irrational beliefs or cognitive distortions that contribute to anxiety. By reframing these thoughts, we can create a more balanced, accurate view of our experiences. Another approach to overcoming fear and anxiety involves confronting our fears in a gradual, controlled manner. This can be achieved through practices like exposure therapy or systematic desensitization, which involve facing anxiety-provoking situations in a step-by-step manner. As we gain experience and mastery over our fears, we build confidence and resilience, reducing our overall anxiety. Epictetus's quote highlights the importance of addressing our fear of pain or death rather than the experiences themselves in order to reduce anxiety. By engaging in self-awareness practices and confronting our fears, we can break free from the cycle of fear and anxiety, empowering us to live more fulfilling, courageous lives. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Marcus Aurelius' quote invites us to begin each day with an attitude of gratitude and appreciation for the gift of life. This practice can have a profound impact on our overall well-being, helping us to counteract the negative thought patterns that often contribute to anxiety. Anxiety frequently arises from focusing on perceived threats, problems, or uncertainties. This focus on the negative can overshadow the many positive aspects of our lives, exacerbating feelings of stress and unease. By consciously cultivating gratitude for the simple joys of life, such as breathing, thinking, enjoying, and loving, we can shift our mindset and create a more balanced, positive outlook. One way to practice gratitude and appreciation is to develop a daily routine that encourages reflection and acknowledgement of the good things in our lives. This could involve writing in a gratitude journal each morning, setting aside time for quiet contemplation, or incorporating affirmations into our daily routine. These practices can help us focus on the positive, enhancing our overall well-being and reducing anxiety. Furthermore, by starting our day with gratitude, we set the tone for a more positive, resilient mindset throughout the day. This mindset can help us better cope with challenges, stresses, and uncertainties, reducing our overall anxiety levels and fostering a greater sense of inner peace. When we lack clarity about our goals, values, or priorities, we may feel adrift, uncertain, and anxious. By gaining a deeper understanding of our true desires and aspirations, we can navigate life's journey with greater confidence and inner peace, reducing anxiety in the process. Anxiety often stems from feelings of uncertainty or a lack of control over our lives. This can be exacerbated when we are unsure of our goals or the path we wish to take. Seneca encourages us to examine our lives and determine the port we wish to sail towards. In other words, to identify our values, passions, and objectives. By doing so, we can establish a strong sense of direction that guides our actions and decisions, making it easier to cope with life's uncertainties and reducing anxiety. To gain clarity about our goals and values, we can engage in self-reflection exercises such as journaling, meditation, or deep conversation with trusted friends or mentors. These activities can help us uncover our true desires, passions, and aspirations, providing us with the insights needed to chart a clear course for our lives. Once we have identified our port, we can take steps to align our actions with our goals and values. This process involves setting realistic, achievable objectives, breaking them down into manageable steps, and regularly evaluating our progress. By actively working towards our goals, we can build a sense of purpose, mastery, and self-efficacy, which can in turn alleviate anxiety and promote overall well-being. Seneca's quote emphasizes the importance of having a clear sense of direction and purpose in reducing anxiety. By engaging in self-reflection and actively pursuing our goals, we can navigate life's uncertainties with greater confidence and inner peace, ultimately fostering a more fulfilling, anxiety-free life. We have explored the top 10 historic quotes and their relevance to anxiety, delving into the wisdom of famous conclusion. His Stoic philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. Throughout this journey, we have discovered essential lessons and insights that can guide us towards greater inner peace and resilience in the face of life's challenges and uncertainties. By embracing the core principles of Stoicism, such as focusing on what is Within our control, cultivating gratitude, reframing our thoughts and developing a clear sense of direction and purpose, we can effectively manage anxiety and create a more fulfilling, contented life. As we reflect on these powerful quotes and the lessons they contain, let us remember to apply the wisdom of Stoic philosophy in our daily lives. This can involve engaging in regular practices that promote self-awareness, emotional balance and personal growth, such as meditation, journaling, or deep conversations with trusted friends or mentors. In doing so, we can foster a more resilient mindset, better equipping ourselves to navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life. It is essential to recognize that the journey towards inner peace and freedom from anxiety is a continuous process that requires dedication, self-reflection, and compassion. As we strive to implement the wisdom of Stoicism in our lives, let us also remember to be patient with ourselves, acknowledging that progress may be gradual and that setbacks are a natural part of growth. In the words of Seneca, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. Let the wisdom of the Stoic philosophers serve as a beacon of light, guiding us towards greater understanding, resilience, and serenity in the face of anxiety. By embracing and applying these teachings, we can find solace in the midst of chaos, transforming our lives and the world around us for the better. Thanks everyone for watching our videos. Like and subscribe our channel.